Good morning, guys. I'm honored to tell you that today Gigi and I are 22 years old in our marriage. And that's pretty remarkable considering this day and age and all that we've been through. But one of the cool things about being together for 22 years is that eventually you just have a collection of stories that you can share. And so today what I want to do is share one of those more memorable and romantic times in our past that I'm positive Gigi and I will never forget. I'm going to put my coffee down because, as I recall, this could get a little physical. Now, I don't remember exactly what year this was. It would have been the mid-1990s. We were probably in our first 5 or 6 years of marriage. And Gigi and I were living in Odessa. And at that time, we were both home for lunch one day. Now, for whatever reason, this particular day, we were watching and engulfed with some program on TV. I don't even remember what it was, but it was one of those things where I had just hung around too long, and I was about to have to get in the car, just fly out of the house, run out of the house, jump in my car, and drive like a madman to get back to work on time, which, now that I think about it, was pretty much a daily occurrence for me. So no big deal, but nonetheless, we had sit there too long and watched this TV, and I had to go. So eventually, as I run from the house, I'm about to execute what I like to call the kiss and run to the car. All right, so before I get there, though, let me explain something about the fashion of the day. I don't know a whole lot about women's jewelry accessories. I do know that on this particular day, Gigi was wearing a large open hoop earring. It seemed to be about the size of the state of Rhode Island. I'm sure it wasn't quite that big, but it was a large earring, and it was a hoop, and it was about a 3/4 hoop or something like that, and then it was open. It started larger, and it came down to a very sharp point on the end, which reminded me basically of like a primitive weapon, really. Now, it looked a lot better, don't get me wrong, it really looked good, but in this particular instance, what was about to happen was not going to be favorable. She is sitting on the couch, and honey, I've got to go, and I'm running by, and I remember I'm executing this kiss and run, and I bend down, and I just make this initial contact. Now, when we made this contact, which by the way, it was legitimate contact, we made good contact there, but she turned her head just right, and as I was pulling away, the large, primitive, sharp point of this weapon she was wearing on her ear found its way up into my nasal cavity. And then as our bodies were parting, this was essentially equivalent to setting the hook, okay? And that sucker lodged itself up into my nose and into the lining of my nose. And it was excruciating pain, I'm telling you. Right now, take a pin, stick it up in your nose and tell me if that doesn't hurt. See? Okay, anyway, so now at the same time, I've got my full body weight going toward the door in a hurry, right? And it's beginning to rip this earring from the fleshy lobe of Gigi's ear. And we're both screaming in pain, and we hit the floor, and we're doing the best we can to untangle ourselves. Our faces are mangled together like this. I got blood running down the front of my face. Gigi looks like that Mike Tyson has just come for a visit there, ears bitten off, it seems like, and she's got blood running down her neck. And I remember thinking at that time, man, one day, this would be a great story to share. But honey, what I want you to know is this: 22 years we've been married. I'm going to tell you that after 22 years, I would be willing to rip the inside lining of my nose out for you again. And that's because I love you. Happy anniversary.